There are two messages here, this and this. By the time the game starts, all what you need to do is to compare these two messages, this and this, and tell Playbookz the number of differences that exist between the two messages. The upper message has 4 emojis, 1, 2, 3, 4. The lower message too has 4 emojis, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a word in between. So what you need to do is to compare these two messages and tell Playbookz the number of differences that exist between them. If after your comparison you discover that no difference exists, you click the 0 button. Or if after your comparison you discover that a single difference exists between the two messages, you click this 1 button here. And if after your comparison you discover that 2 differences exist between the two messages, you click this 2 button here. So now let's get down to practical. To start playing, I click this button here, this play button, I click it, and the different levels of the game will be displayed here. We have 0 level, beginner, easy, hard, harder, hardest, and superhuman. If you are a beginner, you can start with either beginner or 0 level. But if you are an experienced Playbookz player, you can play the easy, hard, harder, hardest, and superhuman. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will start with this 0 level. And the game starts. I will have to compare this and this and tell Playbookz the number of differences that exist. After my comparison, I discovered that this democracy here is no longer the same with this. So there's a single difference. I click the 1 button. I compare again. This emoji and this emoji are no longer the same. So I click, there's a single difference. So I click 1. I compare again. There's a single difference. This B and this B are no longer the same. The letter B has been removed here. So there's a difference. So I click 1. I compare again. 4 emojis, define. No difference. I click 0. I compare again. This emoji is missing here. So there's a single difference. I click 1. I compare. This emoji has changed to question mark here. So there's a single difference. So I click 1. And my score will be increasing here. I compare again. This emoji has changed. So there's a single difference. I compare. I click 1. I compare again. No difference, so I click 0. And you must take your decision before this moving board, this ball moving, before it gets to the bottom here. You must take your decision, or else you will lose the game. There's a single difference. I click 1. I compare, no difference. I click 0. There are 2 differences here. This emoji is missing. 1 emoji is missing here. Another emoji is missing here. So there are 2 differences. I click 2. I compare again, no difference. I click 0. I compare again. There is a difference. This emoji is no longer the same. I click 1. Now let me pause the game. If you look at the game very well, there are 4 dice here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This dice represents lives. You have 4 lives in this game. Now, if you make a mistake, you will lose one of your lives. If you make 2 mistakes, you will lose 2 of your lives. And if you make 3 mistakes, you lose 3 of your lives. And if you make 4 mistakes, you lose all your lives. All the 4 dice, you will lose them. And by the time you lose all your lives, your score will be reduced to 0. And you will not be able to meet the target 100 here. There is a target above here, written 100. You have to meet a score target of 100. But by the time you lose all your 4 lives before your score gets to 100, you will not be able to meet your target any longer. Your score will be reduced to 0. So you have to be careful when playing not to take the wrong decisions, because any wrong decision will amount to the loss of a life. So if I want to make the game harder, I want to make it tougher, because in any game, the harder it is, the more interesting it becomes. If I want to make it very, very tough, I want to make it very tough, what I need to do is to refresh the game again. I click this cancel button, I refresh. And I click my type, this type button, the democracy is there, I convert it into a game, then I start the game. Now I want to play hardest. Fast. Let me play harder. Democracy can't be defined as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Democracy can't be defined as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Let me pause. Always ensure that you take your decision before this moving board, the board that is always moving up and down here. Before you get to the bottom here, you have to take your decision before you get to the bottom, or else you will lose one of your lives. For example, now, let me start again. Now, if I don't take my decision and the board gets to the bottom here, one of my life. Second one, let me start again. If I don't take my decision, let me start again. If I don't take my decision before they get to the bottom, the first life. So I've lost all my lives. And look at my score here. It has reduced to what? 0. My score here has reduced to what? 0. So this is how it works. This is how it works. So this can work on any kind of textbook you could think of, be it physics, biology, chemistry, anatomy, physiology, law, and any other message you could think of, both primary school, secondary school, high school, polytechnic, university, and any school you could think of, any lecture note you could think of, any handout you could think of, can be converted into a game using this app called playbookz. You can get it on Google Play Store. Go to Google Play Store, type playbookz in the search button, PLAYBOOKZ, playbookz. Search for it, download it, and enjoy yourself. Thank you.